Welcome to the Her Story Circle podcast, the podcast that brings you the extraordinary tales of everyday women who are changing the world. I'm your host, Gertrude Mache, and I'd like to acknowledge traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. I also like to pay my respects to elders, past, present, and emerging. Every week, we dive into the lives, challenges, and triumphs of women from all four corners of the globe. We're here to inspire, enlighten, and connect, sharing stories that uplift and empower. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and join us as we explore the incredible journeys of women shaping our future. This is Her Story, where every woman's voice matters. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Her Story Circle. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And today I am graced with the presence of yet another fascinating woman. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, and share your story with us today.
Thank you for having me. My name is Lainey Morse, and I'm the founder of Goat Yoga. I am located in the beautiful Willamette Valley of Oregon, wine country, and I am currently in my happy place right now, which is my barn. I wasn't always a goat farmer. I started off in the corporate world, and in 2015, I got really sick and uh, I had my first two goats, and I would come home from work every day and I would just lay in the barn or go out in the field, and they would just lay next to me and cuddle me and rub their heads up against me. And it just felt like, wow, I had no idea that goats were this great at therapy. And it was just the most beautiful therapeutic thing I could do for myself. Um, I was going to the doctor. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I just kept on getting worse. And at times I couldn't even get out of bed. And I had friends who would help me with the goats. And I just noticed that everyone that came to visit me left so happy. So we started calling these little goat togethers goat happy hour. And it really just made me feel like I had just the most amazing, happy distraction from everything I was going through. And it was just amazing to me. It was better than any pill you could take. No matter what was going on, if you're in pain or depressed, you forgot about it. And they just really pulled me out of a tough time in my life. And it was a friend of mine who asked, "Hey, would you want to donate a goat happy hour to the charity I'm working with?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, that sounds great." And so we offered a kids and kids birthday party with the goats. And one of the moms was a yoga instructor, and at that party all the kids are out playing with the goats, and it's just gorgeous. And she mentioned, you should really let me have a yoga class out here, it's just gorgeous, and the goats are so cute. And I was like, okay, that sounds weird. But I'm in marketing and I was into photography. And so I thought, absolutely, that will be super fun to market. And so I had her out. We did some promo shots and some videos. And by then, I'm on a pretty massive dose of steroids to help me through that. And we started marketing it. And I'm still working my corporate job. And it was. Uh, Absolutely blew up on us. I put it on Facebook as a goat yoga. event, and all of a sudden I wake up the next morning and there's like 400 people that are signed up for this goat yoga, and I have this tiny little farm, and I'm like, oh no, I can't have all these people come. So I took the event down and we made people register, and it sold out immediately. And I took pictures of that event, and I sent it to a magazine called Modern Farmer. And I just said, I think that these pictures, your readers would think this is a cute story. And they contacted me right away and said, this is adorable. And that was my first interview. And it just absolutely snowballed from there. We had the Oregonian pick it up, and from there, the New York Times came out. Every media outlet you can think of, goat yoga was in it. And it was like being on a roller coaster going 100 miles an hour, and I couldn't get off, but I didn't want to. And all the while, I'm still sick. So I remember begging my doctor for more steroids, so just so I could get through an interview and not lose my breath and have the energy. And so it was the absolute best time of my life because this amazing thing is happening. I won the media lottery, and then on the other end, it was the worst time of my life because something was wrong with me and they couldn't figure out what it was. Um, so my corporate job in the meantime, um, the goats just took over my life. I would say I was going to go to the bathroom and go do a radio interview in the bathroom, or say I'm going to go to the bank and make a deposit and do an interview all the way to the bank. And it was really affecting my real job. And my boss ended up reading online in some interview that I was going to quit my job because going viral doesn't happen to people all the time. And so, I ended up leaving that job, and it was just a leap of faith. And I thought, this doesn't happen to people. I have 2,000 people on a wait list to come to my farm and be around these sweet goats. And so I borrowed some money from a friend, quit my job, and I started licensing my brand out, the original goat yoga, to farms across the US, because I really felt this is like a legit therapy. They use horses, they use dogs. Um, why not goats? And goats were just the perfect animal to pair yoga with because they're so calm. Their personalities are funny, and they're very social and loving animals, and most people don't realize that. And so when you come into a yoga class, they just walk right up to you and they'll lay down on your mat and rub their heads up against you. And it's just so sweet, and people just love it. And so goat yoga spread very quickly. I had my first class on August 13th, 2016. And by October, there was already another copycat goat yoga happening, and it just caught like wildfire, and it spread all over the world. And 2016, it was presidential elections going on, the debates. People were just so sick and tired of the politics and the negativity. And I think seeing these humans like smiling, just pure joy and bliss, being next to these goats, people couldn't ignore it. And so it just grew and grew and grew. And by 2019, we estimated there were over 500 other goat yoga businesses all over the world, and millions of dollars in revenue coming in because of this. And, not just for me, but worldwide. And it's been almost 10 years now since goat yoga was started, and we continue to sell out our classes. We have private events at universities, at Stanford, at Berkeley, all the biggest universities, the biggest corporations, Google, Facebook. Um, and I know it sounds crazy. Goat yoga, I admit, I thought it was a little crazy too. But once people do it, at the end, they go, that totally makes sense. You're getting outside, you're bonding with loving animals, and you're disconnecting from the stress of the world. And that's what's important, um, is to just not marinate in misery. And, everybody has something that they need a distraction from. And mine were goats. And I guess a lot of other people's are goats now too. Um, but it has been life changing. This is my new farm here. We're about 30 miles from where we started goat yoga. Um, we have more goats now, but uh, there a lot are still the same goats that we had when we started, and they are so good at their therapy job. Um, we have people, with autism, cancer survivors, you name it. We have organizations that contact us and are saying, just please let us bring these people out and so they can enjoy this. And so we're actually starting a nonprofit this year based on rescuing farm animals, food security, growing food to give to our food bank. Um, we're doing just everything we can, especially in this day and age, to help others. Um, and goats are a big part of that. So thank you.
Wow. When I heard about your story, I was absolutely intrigued at what happens when somebody's going through a personal challenge and then life takes this unusual and very, very weird twist, and it's taken you down a rabbit hole that has turned into the best business opportunity you could have had. Now, you've mentioned that goats have a personality. I know people are using a lot of animals for therapy. Tell us a little bit about the characteristics of goats that make them this unique and this special.
People often ask why goats? Why not dogs or kittens? And goats have these characteristics that a lot of humans have a hard time obtaining. They are very calm animals. The
Mm.
goats that you hear screaming on the internet, they are distressed goats. Most happy goats are very quiet. They are ruminants, and so they chew their cud, and it's a very methodical thing. And just to watch that is very relaxing. They are funny, and so they make you laugh, and laughter's the best medicine. And so I think when you're around them, you take on that energy, that calming energy, and it just goes perfect with the yoga practice.
Now, you've been very open about your personal struggles with illness and mental health. How did goats and nature help you during this time?
Well, as I said earlier, it's all about the happy distraction to me. They didn't heal me. They ended up diagnosing me with rheumatoid arthritis, and now I'm on medication, and it gave me my life back. And the goats, they they just were absolutely a happy distraction um, from being depressed about, life is changing now because you're sick and I can't do half marathons anymore or go hiking. And so it's a hard life adjustment. But when you have these beautiful animals around you, it's hard to be sad and depressed because they pull you out of that.
So, what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced when launching a concept as unique as goat yoga?
I would say probably the number one challenge was trying to find liability insurance
Oh,
for doing events. And without liability insurance, you can't really do business. And they were so not trusting of something called goat yoga, but yet they would insure rodeos or crazy things. But for
mm.
some reason, goat yoga always got a no. And so people say no before they even ask questions or understand things. So that was a really big challenge. And it continues to be a challenge. Just recently, I got dropped from another insurance company because they will not insure people around animals. Um, so that's a really hard one to swallow.
Really interesting. Now, what are some of sorry, your movement, it rapidly went around the world, it went viral. How did you handle the sudden explosion of attention?
You know, I didn't have time to think about it. It happened so quickly where I would start getting up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning just so I could answer all of these emails. I was doing like 30 or 40 interviews a day. I
Wow.
didn't say no to anyone. I made time for it because I believed what I'm selling basically, and I
Yeah.
wanted people to know about it. And so that was all while I'm sick as well. So it was thank goodness for steroids and
Oh.
thank goodness for goats.
So, can you share a memorable story of somebody whose life was profoundly changed through the practicing or participating in goat yoga?
Mhm. There's been a lot of people who have health scares. One in particular, she had been going through chemo, and goat yoga had just started at this time. And she would post pictures of her hooked up to her chemo machine and say, um, when I'm done, I'm bringing my group of friends that helped me through this to a goat yoga class. And watching her do that throughout her whole um, ordeal, and then watching her come into that door of my goat yoga class, I just instantly started crying and we hugged and she laid down on a mat. And would you know, this little baby goat climbed right up in her lap and fell asleep. And she just cuddled in, and it was beautiful. But we've had several people that have done that, and it's just beautiful.
Wow. So, you're transforming lives every single day. So now, beyond the physical fun, goat yoga has a deep emotional and healing component. What do you believe is the real magic behind it?
I think people are just really surprised because goats are just always viewed as meat or dairy. And they're surprised that they're so loving and social. And so when people come into our classes and they sit down and a goat walks up to them and just cuddles in and lays down and their whole face is just like, I can't believe this is happening because it's just something that they're not used to. And so that's the real fun part is just showing people that goats can be more than meat and dairy. They can be a source of therapy.
I love it. Now, what advice would you give to other entrepreneurs who are looking to turn a personal healing journey into a global movement?
Whew. Well, I think if you do not have tenacity, um, you're probably not going to succeed. When your health is taken away, I feel that, and then you get it back and you get like a second chance. I feel like that gives you this crazy amount of tenacity to make something happen. And I'm just going to do it now and I'm going to do it the best I can. And at least that's the way it was with me. And uh, you just have to stay focused. And I feel like it just came naturally to me because I
Mm.
loved goats so much. But I would definitely say if you're passionate about something, keep on doing it, keep on, tenacity. That's what you got to have.
Now, I know you also wrote a book, The Little Book of Goat Yoga. What inspired you to capture this journey in writing?
Well, it's such an unusual story. Um, and I felt it was the only one out there, so I really wanted to share it. And I really feel like I've been put on this earth to make sure that goat yoga and goat therapy are a legit thing, just like equine therapy. So absolutely, it's just all about the therapy to me.
Now, in a world often overwhelmed by technology and disconnection, why do you believe activities like goat yoga resonate so powerfully, especially with children as well, right?
Well, I think because animals are a gift to humans. They give us so much joy and love, and I think that's why people connect with it. We could have the biggest, muscly, gruff guys come in, and once a goat lays on their mat, they're won over, and to see the smile on their faces, and as long as people are animal lovers, but even if you're a nature lover, just to be outdoors is, a form of therapy. So
Now, you've explained and you've expanded into activities like the Goat Happy Hour and
mhm.
therapy events. What's next for your brand and your mission?
Well, the nonprofit that we're launching will be taking up a lot of my time, and we're always expanding on what we offer here at my farm. So we lately have been combining art workshops and goat
Right.
happy hours. And so that's been really fun to do, because mm, people might love animals, but other people might love art. So it's great to combine other things that can be a therapy.
And now, how do you personally balance running a growing brand while maintaining your own mental health and physical well being?
Well, just like I used to do 10 years ago, every single morning and night, um, I canceled cable TV when I got my first two goats.
Okay.
I I go out and I do my own personal goat happy hour. I never miss a day. Even before this interview, I was just sitting out with the goats, and it's just that's my form of therapy. People do better with maybe talk therapy or other therapies. For me, it's just being outdoors with animals.
And what's your ultimate vision for goat yoga and its impact over the next decade?
I would love to see it grow internationally. I'd love to have this brand everywhere. um, but we'll see. I'm take one day at a time, and I'm just kind of letting life lead me where it does.
I love that. Now, if you could leave our listeners with one message about healing, resilience, and finding unexpected joy, what would it be?
I think it would be, what happened to me is I found my happy distraction. It works for me. Maybe it doesn't work for everyone. Maybe they like dogs, maybe they like hiking, they water, but whatever it is, you need to find that happy distraction and not marinate in your misery or depression. Um, Filling it with things that you enjoy and love, that really helps heal heal your mind, body, and soul. And so that would be my number one piece of advice, is just find what your happy distraction is.
Yeah, I love that term, happy distraction, because it is about taking your mind off whatever it is that is an issue in your life at that moment in time, right? That's
Absolutely.
beautiful. Now, I like to end my interview with two questions that are a bit of a time experiment. In the first question, I'm going to teleport you into the past, and we are going to go and sit with the younger you, this younger woman who was diagnosed with an illness, didn't know what was going on, was struggling. Just in case there's somebody who is going through a health challenge right now, if you could go back and give yourself three nuggets of wisdom based on what life has taught you up until this point, what would those three nuggets of wisdom be?
Oh, I think I've already said the happy distraction one, absolutely. The second one would be surround yourself with people that you trust and that are smart. And because, we can't know it all. And so that's what I did is I reached out to anyone in the community where I really trusted them and their knowledge. And then the third one would be sometimes you have to take leaps of faith. And when I quit that corporate job and that nice paycheck and retirement and vacation, um, I jumped into a situation where I didn't know how I was going to survive, but I just knew I was going to make something happen. So um, don't give up, have tenacity. That might be more than three things, but that's what I did.
I love it. I love it. And the last question, I will teleport you into the future this time. And we are going to go and meet the 90-year-old you. And maybe she's sitting in her rocking chair, surrounded by her coats, her dogs, her cats. Or maybe she's on the dance floor with science and technology. You probably will be dancing, right? If I could take you into the future to meet wise woman, this wise woman who's led you up until this point, what will you say to her when you finally meet her? I like to ask women this question because a lot of women look outside of themselves for answers and they forget to go within. What would you say to the wise you when you finally meet her?
Oh, I would say take time for yourself. Sometimes it's, we find ourselves doing so much for other people, but we forget about what we need. And I would hope that I would be that 90-year-old lady on my front porch rocking chair, um, just soaking in the flowers and the nature and yeah, forgetting about the rat race of life and just enjoying myself.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for coming online and inspiring our community with your story. It just
Thank
fascinates
you.
me to meet entrepreneurs who have a point of difference, and you have a very quirky point of difference. Out there doing something unusual, something that's never been done, going global. I mean, we're having this conversation. I'm here in Melbourne, Australia. You're in the US. Keep on being a source of inspiration. I think women need to hear more of these kind of stories.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share it with your community.
It's an absolute pleasure. And thank you to everybody who tuned in. The Her Story Circle is not just a podcast. We are a social impact movement that brings you the voices and stories of women from all over the world. We share our stories to uplift you, to inspire you, to energize you, but most importantly, to help take you from where you are now to where you're trying to go. So if you are a woman who is going through a health challenge right now, look for that happy distraction. I think that's been my biggest takeaway from this interview. Those happy distractions can be found in nature. Nature is always a go to place when you are on a healing journey. So I'll be back again tomorrow, everybody, with yet another interesting guest. Have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and bye for now. Thanks again for the interview.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into the Her Story Circle podcast. I hope today's story has inspired you to believe in the power of our stories and the difference you can make in the world when you use your voice. I'm Gertrude Mache, and it's been an honor to share this space with you, where voices from all walks of life come together to weave a rich tapestry of diverse perspectives. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast to help us share these stories with more listeners. Follow us on social media by looking for the Her Story Circle podcast for more updates. And join us tomorrow for another episode filled with courage, resilience, and empowerment. Remember, your story matters, and together we're building a stronger, more inclusive world. Until next time, keep making her story.